Good morning, students. So in the previous classes we discussed about the string having some mass and how to calculate the different tension at the different points. And so now first let us discuss about the motion of a block on the smooth inclined plane, and after that we will discuss about the pulley related problems, right? And so now in this, so I am assuming a block of mass m is placed on a smooth inclined plane. And so now we need to discuss what will be the acceleration of the block and with what velocity it will reaches the ground, and those related values we need to discuss here, right? So now let us first write about that. Consider a block of mass m. Consider a block of mass m is released from rest. Is released from rest from the top of an inclined plane. From the top of an inclined plane as shown in figure. And so now here these are the free body diagram I am drawing here itself. So you know the forces, actually there are two forces acting on this block here. One is mg, weight of the block, and other is normal reaction n. So mg is always vertically downwards. Now here that normal reaction is normal to this inclined plane here. This is the inclined plane. Now the normal reaction is perpendicular to that n. And so now just I am resolving this mg into components here. So if this angle is theta, then here this is the vertical here. So here this angle will be 90 minus theta you will get, so that this angle will be theta, right? And so now this mg I am resolving it into components. So mg cos theta and this is mg sin theta, right? And so now perpendicular to the plane, if I write, this inclined plane is a fixed inclined plane. So now the perpendicular to the inclined plane, if I write, we can write this equation as n is equal to mg cos theta. Let's suppose this equation 1. So the normal reaction is n is equal to mg cos theta you will get. And next here, along this direction, the only force accelerating, now because of this mg sin theta, the body starts accelerating downwards here, because that is an unbalanced force. Some net force is there on the block in downward direction. Therefore this net force is equal to what we can write here is mg sin theta, and which is equal to ma we can write, the net accelerating force. That means Newton's second law we are applying along this direction here. So that is F is equal to ma direction, and so ma. And therefore this acceleration of the block we can write this as a is equal to g sin theta. So that is the acceleration of the block which is sliding down the smooth inclined plane. So that is acceleration of the block which is independent of the mass of the block here. That is important thing you need to observe here. Whether you are placing 1 kg object or 10 kg object or 100 kg object, if the inclined plane is smooth inclined plane, so every object will comes down with that g sin theta only. So it only depends on that angle of inclination here. Here mention about that. Therefore acceleration of a body sliding down the smooth inclined plane, acceleration of a body sliding down the smooth inclined plane is independent of mass of the body, and actually you can also mention it as it is independent of shape and size also. That means whatever the shape and whatever the size you are taking, it will comes down with that acceleration there if it is a smooth surface. So it will depend only on that angle of inclination here. It only depends on angle of inclination of the inclined plane, right? And so now as the acceleration is a constant acceleration here, you can consider that means you can apply the kinematic equation to calculate any required quantity. Like if you want to calculate velocity of the object on reaching the bottom, you can apply our v is equal to u, v square minus u square is equal to s. Or if I ask time taken to reach the ground, we can apply s is equal to ut plus half a d square we can write here. So that means now we are assuming that here the velocity is 0. The body is released from rest here. Suppose say here this block reaches with some velocity v here. This block reaches the bottom with the velocity v. So now to calculate that velocity, then we can apply this v square minus u square is equal to s. So velocity at the bottom. So v square minus u square is equal to 2as. So I can write this as v square minus 0. We are assuming that we are releasing from rest. So v square minus 0 is equal to 2 into g sine theta into that length we are taking it as n. So then v is equal to under root of 2gl sine theta. And here the important thing you can observe here is this can also be written as under root of 2gh, right? Because this side L is nothing but by observing this triangle you can write this L is H is equal to L sine theta you can write. That means even if you release an object here from this top of this inclined plane directly, on reaching the bottom of inclined plane, its speed and the body which is sliding down this inclined plane both will reach us with the same speed, right? So they will reach with the different time and with different velocity also. Velocity means you need to consider that direction also. Velocity is different, but the magnitude of that velocity will be same. So mention that point here. Therefore, the velocity of the object at the bottom of the inclined plane, the velocity of the object at the bottom of the inclined, the magnitude of velocity, or you can write it as speed or magnitude of velocity. The magnitude of velocity of the object on reaching the bottom of inclined plane is same as that of an object dropped from the top of the inclined plane. When it reaches the bottom. That means if you are releasing from rest here, then it reaches this ground with the same speed here. V is equal to under root of 2gh. So that means both will reaches the ground with the same speed or magnitude of velocity, right? Next, suppose if you want to calculate that and later after completing our work power energy, that means after completing that energy you can answer that easily, because that change in potential energy is same here, whether it is traveling along this direction or this direction, whatever the loss of potential energy is there, that simply loss of potential energy is converting into kinetic energy there, so that you will get that same amount of speed or kinetic energy, right? That we will discuss that about the in terms of energy we will discuss in work power energy topic. Here in terms of that force and acceleration we are discussing here, right? And so next here let us write time taken to reach the bottom of inclined plane. So time taken to reach bottom. So time taken to reach the bottom of inclined plane, we can write it as, just I can use that S is equal to ut plus half at square. So I am using this equation here. So along this inclined plane, we are using it. And so that here I can write this as L is equal to 0 plus half into along the inclined plane. Now the acceleration is g sine theta along the inclined plane into this t square. Suppose I am taking it as a capital T square, and therefore you can write this expression as t is equal to under root of 2l by g sine theta we can write here. So it is the expression for time taken by the body to reach the bottom of this inclined plane here. So in this, just you need to remember the expression like acceleration. That acceleration is important, and acceleration of any object is constant here. If once acceleration is known, you can calculate these quantities easily. And actually these type of calculations we will discuss in friction topic. Though that comparison will be there between the smooth inclined plane and rough inclined plane. So there much importance will be there here. Just for this I am explaining this. The acceleration of any object sliding down the inclined plane will be g sine theta you will get, right? Now this is the resolution of these forces here. And so now next here in the beginning of this topic I gave draw the free body diagram of two blocks. When two blocks are sliding down this inclined plane here, I asked you to draw the normal reaction between the free body diagram of those blocks. And most of you are getting confusion about taking the direction of the normal reaction between the two blocks, right? And there I said that actually the normal reaction will be 0. So now let us see how the normal reaction is 0. So write this as a problem there. Two blocks M1 and M2, M1 and M2 are sliding on a smooth inclined plane as shown in figure. Then find the contact force between the two blocks. So now, as we discussed in our previous classes, like there is a direct method, there is a way of writing the acceleration of the system directly, right? So we mentioned in case of blocks in contact and when the strings are connected, when the blocks are connected by the strings, by the help of strings, there in that we mentioned about the direct method to write the accelerations, right? So in this case also, first let us write the direct method of let us write the acceleration, and so that you can answer about the normal reaction easily just by taking a free body diagram of any one of the block, or otherwise you may consider the free body diagram of both the blocks and you can answer that. I am writing the acceleration of the system directly, right? And so now for this, if I write this acceleration here, what I can write here, it is for this one normal reaction will be there along this direction, say n1, and for this perpendicular to the inclined plane another normal reaction will be there n2, and those normal reactions are balanced by this m2g cos theta, and these are same as that of our previously what we mentioned here. This is m1g cos theta, and for both of them along this direction this component will be there m1g sin theta, and for this m2g sin theta will be there here m2g sin theta, right, along this direction. So for both of them, if you are taking both the blocks together as a system, the net accelerating force is nothing but weight of these two blocks here, m1 plus m2 into g of g sin theta we can write, right? And so now I am writing this acceleration directly, therefore this is net force by total mass in motion we can write here to write this acceleration directly. And so now this is nothing but the net force is nothing but what we can write is m1 plus m2 into g sin theta by this total mass in motion is nothing but m1 plus m2, right? So that is nothing but our total accelerating force here, m2g sin theta and m1g sin theta, that I am taking g sin theta common. So we can write it as m1 plus m2 into g sin theta by total mass in motion is nothing but m1 plus m2 only, right? And so now here we can write therefore this acceleration as g sin theta. So now which is same as that of a single block. That means two blocks are sliding in contact with each other, or even if you place 3 or 4 or any number of blocks, they will come down with the same acceleration. So acceleration of each block will be same if the surfaces are smooth. That you should observe here. If the surfaces are smooth, then every body placed on that surface, placed on the inclined plane, will comes down with the same acceleration. Actually, which we already mentioned in our previous discussion. There we mentioned that acceleration is g sin theta and it is independent of mass of the object. So whether you are placing m1 or m2, all the blocks will come down with that same acceleration only. And so now once this acceleration is calculated for us, you can take the free body diagram of any one of the block. You may take either m1 or m2 you may consider here, so that you will get the contact force between those two blocks. Now I am taking the FBD of m1. So FBD of m1, right? So now if I consider this FBD of m1, the forces acting on this m1 we can represent like this. So this is m1g sin theta, and this is a normal reaction from the floor, from the inclined plane, m1g cos theta. And so now here I am assuming this n is the contact force from this m2 I am assuming here. That means this n is the contact force between those two blocks we are taking here. We are assuming that the contact force between those two blocks is N, right? Now this block is sliding down with an acceleration of A. The acceleration with the A, the block is sliding down. Therefore, let us write the force equation here. Therefore, this net force equation, we can write this as N plus m1g sin theta is equal to ma. Right? These two forces are acting along this direction, so that should be equal to ma, net force. So therefore, this N is equal to, I can write this as m1g sin theta minus m1g sin theta, because now our A is nothing but just value g sin theta. So I am substituting this. This is m1 into A, that A value we can write as g sin theta. This m1 g sin theta I am writing this side, and so that you can write this normal reaction between the two blocks is 0. So that means if any two blocks are kept in contact and they are sliding down here, you can answer that easily. There is no contact force between those two blocks. Those two blocks, contact force between those two blocks will be 0, because all the blocks move down with the same acceleration there, whether the masses over m1 or m2 or 2 or more blocks are placed in contact with each other. But normal reaction from the inclined plane will be there, that will be different for different blocks, and which will depend on their masses, m1g sin theta or m1g cos theta or m2g cos theta we are writing. That is the normal reaction from the floor, but normal reaction between the blocks is 0. So mention that point there. Therefore, when two blocks are sliding down the inclined plane, the contact force between the two blocks is 0. The contact force between the two blocks is 0. And so next let us see about our pulley problems here, pulley related questions. And here, as we discussed it in the beginning of this types of forces, here all the pulleys what we are going to discuss, generally those are ideal pulleys we consider here. Ideal pulleys means we mentioned already, like massless and frictionless. Ideal pulley means mass of the pulley is negligible, as well as the friction between the string and the pulley is also negligible, right? That is our general assumptions there. But if there will be some few questions based on the mass of the pulleys, by considering the mass of the pulleys. But in this topic, in friction topic, we won't consider that, in this Newton's laws, we don't consider about the friction between the string and the pulley. And actually that such a type of questions will also be there for us, but we will discuss in our mechanics, that means rotational mechanics topic. And generally here now in this Newton's laws, generally now the pulley, the role of this pulley here is, if you are neglecting the friction, simply we can define it as it just used to change the direction of this force here, and there will be some mechanical advantage of this pulleys will be there. Mechanical advantage means, suppose if you want to lift an object here, an object of mass, say this 10 kg is placed. 10 kg means 100 newtons will be there. Suppose it is placed on the surface. If you want to lift this directly, if the object is placed on the ground, if you want to lift this object directly, the minimum force required to lift this object is, we can say this minimum 100 newtons we should apply here. This is the minimum force required, right? If the force is less than that, then you can't lift the object. If the force is more than this, then body will start accelerating in upward direction here. But the minimum force required is 100. So without applying 100 newtons, you can't lift the object directly. But whereas if you are using such an arrangement of pulleys here, we can lift the object by applying a force less than this 100 newtons also. So that is, by applying the small force, we can lift the more weight. That is with the help of this pulley. And so then in the problems I will explain this, what is the mechanical, that means how it will reduce that weight of this object here. While discussing that problems, you will get an idea, right? So just remember, that is the advantage of this pulley. By applying small force, you can lift the more weight. So larger weight also, suppose if you want to lift the 1000 kg, 1000 newtons object, then no need of applying 1000 newtons on that or more than 1000 newtons on that. So by applying a force less than 1000 newtons also, you can accelerate that system, you can accelerate the block in upward direction. Finally the net force acting on the block will be 1000 or more than 1000 only you will get. But what the force we are applying on the system will be less than the 1000 you will get. So that means by applying a small force, you can lift the larger weights also. That is a mechanical advantage of this pulleys here. And so as the friction is not considered here, that means simply here what we can say is this in this, if friction is negligible, then this pulley is used to change the direction of the force here. Just it is used to change the direction of the force. So that means, for example, if you are lifting this M1 here and if you are applying force here, then force what we are applying here is in downward direction. So but the force acting on this M1 will be in upward direction, it will act here, right? So that means here if you are pulling this side, let us assume instead of M2 block, I am holding this end with the hand. Then if I am pulling this rope in downward direction, I am applying that means I am pulling it downward direction. So but this will act in, the force acting on this M1 will be in upward direction, so it will act in upward direction here. So that is, this pulley is now changing the direction of the force here. And so now similarly, suppose if I am taking this, a block is hanging like this and I am pulling this rope here. By applying this force here, I am pulling this like this. So now I am applying the force in horizontal direction, but the force acting on this will be in vertical direction here. So because of that, it will move in vertical direction there. That means that pulleys will changes the direction of the force here. That is used to change the direction of the force. And if the friction is negligible, and if you are taking the ideal case, that means friction, pulleys and strings are ideal, then magnitude of the force will remain same, only it changes the direction. But if any of this deviation is there, like mass of the pulley is considered, like, or the tension in the, that means friction is considered, then force magnitude also will changes there, direction changes as well as the magnitude also changes there. So just to mention that pulley is a device generally used to change direction of the force and to get some mechanical advantage. The pulleys whose mass is negligible and friction is absent, are considered as ideal pulleys. And so now let us consider this pulley system here. This is generally we call this as a simple pulley. That means I am going to take this example here. First a simple pulley I am taking here. So that means just it is a simple pulley, or it will be mentioned as Atwood machine. Right? So it is a simple pulley or Atwood machine. And so now here that means Atwood machine means just we are taking an ideal pulley like this. And so now this ideal pulley means then this mass of the pulley is negligible and the friction is negligible, and the pulley strings are also ideal we are taking here, right? Now the two masses are suspended like this. And so now we are going to write about the acceleration of the system and tension in the string. That means if the blocks are released from that positions there, just we need to write this acceleration of the system and acceleration of those blocks, and the tension in the string we need to write here. So for this, just let us take the free body diagrams of M1 and M2. So I am taking this FBD of M1. So now let us consider this M2 is greater than that of M1 here. So I am taking the case like here M2 is greater than that of M1, so that this block will move down with some acceleration A, then this block will move up with the acceleration A. So as these two blocks are connected with the inextensible string, the magnitude of acceleration of the two blocks will be same. So whenever blocks are connected by inextensible strings, the magnitude of acceleration of the blocks will be same, that we mentioned already. Now I am taking the free body diagram of this M1. So this is the free body diagram, that means this is the block M1 here. So now if I consider the free body diagram of this M1, M1G, weight of this block and tension T, right? So that means here this tension will be there, here T, and so here also T, then here T, and here this is T. So that means here this T will represent tension acting on the M1, and this T will represent tension acting on M2, and this T will represent tension acting on the pulley. That means the string pulls down the pulley with the force this T, and at the same time this M1 is that means it exerts a force M1 T on M1 in upward direction here. That is the direction of the tensions which we discussed already. The tension is always a pulling force, and at the ends it is always in opposite direction. If you are observing these two ends of the string, the tension is in opposite direction here, right? And so now under the action of these forces, this is moving in upward direction here. That M1 is moving in up, this is moving down, and this is moving up here. So now let us write the force equation here. It is moving upwards, means an upward force, this T must be greater than that of M1G. So the net force equation is T minus M1G is equal to M1A. Right, this is equation 1. That is the force equation for that. And next let us write here, there is no any normal reactions here, that you should remember that. Normal reaction will be there only when the blocks are in contact with any surface, either like inclined plane or on the floor. If the objects are in contact, then normal reaction will be there. If the objects are connected by the string like this, no need of taking any normal reactions. And next for this M2, I am taking the FBD of this M2. So this is FBD of M2. So now the FBD of M2 I can take it as so again same, tension is acting upwards and M2G is acting downwards, right? This tension is acting upwards and weight of this block will be there in downward direction, but the direction of acceleration of this block is in downward direction here. The block is moving in downward direction, and so that the downward force must be larger than that of upward force. And so here it is M2G minus T is equal to M2A, we can write here. This is equation 2. And so now let us add the equation 1 and equation 2, you will get the acceleration here. So suppose now I am adding this equation 1 plus equation 2. Therefore I can write this as M2G minus M1G is equal to M1 plus M2 into A. Therefore this A is equal to M2 minus M1 into G by M1 plus M2. Now is it clear that acceleration? So now you can observe that you can also write this acceleration directly. You can also write that acceleration directly. So that means here we are writing the force equation for both the blocks, and from that force equation actually I am deriving this. And we know the another method for this. So to find the acceleration directly. So I can write this direct method as, that means even in this pulley cases also you can write this acceleration directly here. So to write this acceleration directly, then what we can write here is A is equal to this net force by total mass in motion, we need to write here net accelerating force, right? And so here only should absorb the forces clearly here. So now here what we are considering here is this M2G is acting downward direction it is like this, and here M1G is acting downward direction. That means here both the forces are acting, appears to be acting in downward direction only, but their effect will be in opposite direction. Opposite direction means, so here we are assuming like M2 is greater, so this M2 is moving down here. So I can conclude that this M2G is trying to accelerate the system, right? It is trying to accelerate the system. Now this weight of this block M1, that means M1G is trying to oppose that acceleration here. If for example both are of equal mass, the system won't accelerate, right? So but here if this the mass is more, so this block, because of this larger weight, it is moving down, so this weight is accelerating the system, but this is now opposing that system. But here in the diagram, if you observe that both are acting in a downward direction, same direction, so that effect will be in opposite direction. One is trying to accelerate the system, the other is trying to oppose the system, and so that net force means we need to write it as M2G minus M1G. This is a net accelerating force here because both the forces are in opposite direction. M2G minus M1G by total mass in motion is nothing but M1 plus M2. So this is nothing but what we are getting here, right? Therefore this acceleration is M2G minus M1G by M1 plus M2. Is it clear? So that means when the system is accelerating like that, the net force means we need to consider like this. M2G is accelerating the system, M1G is opposing that acceleration there, opposing that acceleration of the system, so that we are subtracting that weight of this M1 here. So that this is the acceleration of the system in the direct method. So that means in direct method you can write directly like this. So in different cases you may get the different values here. So that means you need to observe that clearly in the given system which force is accelerating and which force is opposing, you need to observe there. Now once this acceleration is calculated, either you can use equation 1 or you can use equation 2 to calculate this tension here. So now I am writing from this equation 1. Therefore this T is equal to M1G plus M1 into A. That A is nothing but you can use this equation here. M2 minus M1 into G by M1 plus M2. And take LCM and simplify this. I can take this M1G common here. So I can take M1G common. If you are taking that M1G common, then M1 term will be cancelled. 2M2 by M1 plus M2 you will get. If you are taking this M1G common, 1 plus of M2 minus M1 by M1 plus M2 you will get, and the taking LCM you will get this expression. Therefore this tension we can write it as 2M1 M2 into G by M1 plus M2 we can write. So it is the expression for this tension in this string here. So tension in the string is nothing but given by this expression, right? So it is a tension in the string. So this is simple pulley or simple Atwood machine here. So that means just we need to take the free body diagram of the blocks M1 and M2, and just by solving those equations you can get acceleration, and just by substituting accelerations in that equation you can calculate the tension. Or if you want to write the acceleration directly, then this is net force by total mass in motion. So net force means we need to identify which force is accelerating and which force is opposing that system. And then from this you can calculate this tension here. So that is a simple Atwood machine, right? And just I am extending the system here. So just like if suppose two blocks are connected on one side, so I am taking the system now like this. So I am taking some numerical example here. So suppose let us take this as 2 kg and this is 3 kg, and so let us take this side as 1 kg block, right? So now this is the system here, and suppose here this tension I am taking as T1 and here the tension is T2. So write that. Find the tensions in the strings T1 and T2 in the system shown in figure. Find the tensions T1 and T2 in the system shown in figure. Strings and pulleys are ideal. Generally they will give that ideal, and even if they are not mentioning that, you need to take that as ideal only. If any deviation is there from this ideal, then they will mention that, like string is having this much mass or pulley is having that mass of the pulley, they will give. Mass of the pulley means you need to consider friction is there whenever mass of the pulley is given. And so now here this is the situation here. So now you can write the acceleration directly, or you may take the free body diagram of these blocks here. Individual blocks free body diagram you may consider. Now you will get the 3 equations because 3 blocks are there. You need to solve those 3 equations there. Or directly also you can write. So first I will draw the free body diagram and I will write the equations there. So for 1 kg. So for 1 kg block, if I consider here, this 1g will be there in downward direction and tension T2 is there in upward direction. Now you can clearly observe that this will accelerate down and this will rise up here, right? And so therefore it is this block is moving up here with acceleration A. Therefore T2 minus G is equal to 1 into A. G means I am taking 10. So T2 minus 10 is equal to A we can write. Suppose say this is equation 1, right? And so now let us take FBD of 2 kg or 3 kg. FBD of 3 kg. So now for this 3 kg, this T2 is acting upwards here. M2G is there in, that means 3G is there in downward direction. And in addition to that, one more tension is there here that you need to observe here. So this one more string is connected. So that means that string will pull that block in downward direction there. So that is the direction of the T1, right? Because it can't push the string, it will pull that block only. And so under the action of these forces, this block is moving down. And so that means it is moving down here. Therefore our equation is 3z minus T1 minus T2 is equal to 3a. And so let it be equation 1, or let us write 30 minus T1 minus T2 is equal to 3a, equation 2. Now similarly take this FBD of 2 kg, right? FBD of 2 kg block. And so now this FBD of 2 kg block means again you can write this free body diagram as this tension T1 in upward direction, 2G in downward direction, and it is moving down here, right? Now for this only one string is connected here, so only one tension will be there in upward direction. So I can write this as 20 minus T1 is equal to 2 into A. Suppose say this is equation 3. Now let us simplify these equations here. Those 3 equations are there. On simplifying those 3 equations now, you will get an equation for this, plus here, because these two are acting in downward direction, right? These two are pulling the system and this is opposing the system here. This is plus and plus, only T2 is opposing the system there. Now we need to simplify those 3 equations to find the acceleration of the system here. So that means now I can write this as simply to simplify this, equation 1 plus equation 2 plus equation 3. Let us add all those 3 equations. Now we can write this as, this is 20 plus 30 minus 10 is equal to, you can observe that all the t terms will be cancelled, minus plus t1 minus t1, and this is minus t2 and here plus t2. So that will be cancelled. So this is equal to a plus 3a plus 2a, and therefore this is 40 is equal to, how much it is, 6a, or therefore a is equal to 40 by 6, so which is nothing but 20 by 3 we can write meter per second square. So it is the acceleration of the system here, right? So once acceleration is known, you can calculate the tensions. Now let us see this acceleration by the direct method. So now let us see this acceleration direct method here. So direct method, if you want to write this net acceleration by total mass, we need to write here total mass in motion. Now the net accelerating force, can you say for that system now, which is the accelerating force and which is the system when the two blocks are considered together. Remember, when you are taking the direct method, all these tensions will become an internal forces. So no need of taking the tensions here. So whatever may be the number of blocks or whatever may be number of strings over there in that, all the tensions will become an internal force for that system if you are taking all the blocks together. So that means total given system directly you are taking as a single system, then all those tensions will become internal force, so no need of considering those tensions there. So now let us observe this 2 kg block. The weight of this block is pulling the system in downward direction. Then what about weight of this 3 kg block? This 3 kg block also pulls the system in downward direction, right? So these two blocks are pulling this side, but this 1 kg is pulling this side. Pulling this side means now it is opposing the system there. It is opposing, it is acting opposite to this 5 kg system here, right? So that means this totally 2g plus 3g is acting to accelerate the system, and this 1g weight of this block is opposing the system here. So the net accelerating force means we need to write this net accelerating force as 3g plus 2g minus g by 3 plus 2 plus 1. Right? So the net accelerating force by total mass in motion we need to write here, and therefore this side it will be equal to, you can answer this as 4g by 6, so which is nothing but this 20 by 3 meter per second square you can write here. So it is a direct method, you can answer this directly here. Once this is known to us, you can consider simply the free body diagram of 1 kg and 2 kg you may consider, then you will get T1 and T2 values directly there, right? And so then calculate those T1 and T2 values. I am not calculating, you can just substitute here, then you will get T1 and T2 values. Do that calculations, T1 and T2 values. So is it clear how to write the acceleration directly? So that is important for us. That means to save the time. So directly you can answer that acceleration without writing this, or the basic procedure is this one. If you are getting any confusion in writing that accelerations directly, then you need to take the free body diagram of each block you need to consider, and then you can simplify the equations there, right? And a lot of problems will be there in this based on the pulley systems in Newton's laws. Hundreds and hundreds problems, more than that means many hundred problems will be there based on this pulley systems. And even we are considering just in the beginning one pulley only, then many number of pulleys will also be there in this Newton's laws, and we will discuss all those later. Just this is the introduction of that pulley system. Now suppose I am taking an examples here. Just write the acceleration of the systems directly so that you will get clarity about it. Let us take this as M1 here. All the surface are smooth surfaces. Find acceleration and tension in the string. So let us take this one block is there on this inclined plane, and other block is hanging like this. This is say M1 and this is M2. And you may consider some masses also, you will get the more easily. Suppose I am taking here this side as M1 is equal to 20 kg, right? And this M2 is equal to, let us take this as 10 kg. And here let us take this as M1 is equal to 10 kg, right? And this side it is 14 kg. M2 is 14 kg. So you need to find this tension and acceleration. Common questions here. Write the tension and accelerations. So for this, just I will explain here. By the direct method I will explain. You may draw the free body diagram and solve by that method. So now here to get this, and simply here remember this. If this system is smooth surface, so whatever the masses here, that means even if you place 100 kg here and 1 kg here, if the system accelerates, I am suspending only this side, suppose say 1 kg or half kg, let us suspend here, and on the table I am placing it as 1000 kg weight I am placing here, and given that all the surfaces are perfectly smooth, that means there is no friction anywhere, then definitely this half kg block can accelerate the 100 kg block or 1000 kg block, right? So whatever the mass you are placing here, even if you place 50 grams of mass and here it is 100 kg, then definitely that 50 grams of mass should accelerate that system there, because it will exert some force on this, so that there will be some tension develops in that string, and because of that tension the system will accelerate. The acceleration may be small if this weight of this block is small, right? But it will accelerate, that you should remember here. So whatever the irrespective of larger and smaller masses, system will accelerate if the system is like this and if the surface is smooth surface. And so now you can write, I will explain by direct method here. So now which force is trying to accelerate the system here? Which force is trying to accelerate, and which force is opposing this acceleration here, acceleration of the system? Now we can observe this directly, the weight of this block here, let us say this M2G. M2G is totally pulling the system in downward direction, right? Now, because of this motion of the system, that means because of this pulling force, this block M1 will move towards right, right? When it is moving towards right, is there any role of this weight of this M1 in the motion of this object? Is there any role? So that means here there is no role of this motion, weight of this block in the motion of its block here, right? Because its weight is acting downwards like this, which is balanced by the normal reaction here. Here normal reaction will be there, that normal reaction will balances that. So that normal reaction acting in upward direction will balance this weight of this block here. So there is no role of this weight of the block in the motion of this block, right? And so that only this tension in the string will accelerate the system, that will pulling the force here. That means there is no opposing force here. That is the important thing you need to observe here. When one block is on the table, another block is hanging from the table. So the only accelerating force is weight of this block, and there is no opposing force here. Therefore, acceleration of the block, I can write this as M2G by M1 plus M2. The total mass in motion is M1 plus M2, right? And so that is the case here. So that is the acceleration. You can substitute numericals and you can simplify that. Find the acceleration and tension. Now similarly here, if I answer here, so that means here if we want to answer the acceleration directly, and now again identify which is accelerating force and is there any opposing force or there not, there or not. That means here the weight of this block M1G is acting like this, and then for this the weight of this block will be the component of this weight of the block M2G sin theta is along this direction, right? We know this M2G cos theta is balanced by the normal reaction here. That component will be there along this direction, M2G cos theta, and that is balanced by this normal reaction here, normal reaction acting from the floor, right? And so now, and let us observe the numericals given there. The M2G sin theta means you will get like this theta, let us take this angle as 30 degrees for example here. And so now M2G sin theta means you will get 7G sin, that means 7G you will get, and this side it is 10G you will get. So definitely this is larger force here. So what we can conclude is this system is accelerating down like this. M1 is accelerating down and M2 will accelerate up the inclined plane here with the same magnitude of acceleration, right? So that is acceleration we can conclude here. So sometimes they may ask the weight of the block if the system remains constant here. Then you need to equate these two forces. M2G sin theta is equal to M1G you need to write. From that the unknown mass you can calculate if the system remains in equilibrium. But here system is accelerating here, right? And it is m1g is moving down. And so now in this, now if I ask the acceleration directly, can I answer the acceleration directly here? The acceleration of the system directly. So now again we need to think about which is accelerating and which is opposing force. So here the accelerating force is weight of this block here, m1g, and opposing force is this weight here. This is opposing here, m2g is opposing here. There opposing force is not there, but here it is opposing, and so that we need to write this as minus m2g sine theta by total mass in motion is m1 plus m2 we need to write here. So that gives the acceleration of the system, and then by writing the draw the free body diagram of this m1 or m2 you may write, then you will get the tension. I am not doing that calculation, just I am explaining how to write the acceleration. So this is the acceleration of the system directly. You may also get the same expression by writing free body diagram of m1 and m2 and simplifying those two equations, right? This is the direct method I am explaining here. Now let us take further extension here. So further extension means I am taking like this pulley is connected like this, inclined plane, and one block is there here and other block is one block is hanging like this, and here one more pulley is connected here, so that one more block is hanging like this. Sorry, this is m1, m2 and m3. This is the angle theta. Let us write a general expression and let us consider that system is accelerating like this. It is accelerating with acceleration a like this. Is it clear? So that means now here additionally one more block is connected this side here. Now the system is accelerating. We need to answer about the acceleration of the system directly. You may draw the free body diagram and you may write the three equations and you can solve that. That is the general procedure which I explained already, and you can write that general procedure for this. And if you want to draw the free body diagram, once this side one tension will be there and this side another tension will be there, and mg sine theta will be there along this direction. So from that you can write that for these three forces will be there, for these two forces will be there, and for these two forces will be there in force equation I am saying. For this perpendicular to that two components will be there, they will balance with each other. I am not talking about that, right? And so now let us write the acceleration of the system directly, as we are assuming this m1 is moving in downward direction. So now can you say which is the accelerating force here for this entire system and which is the opposing force? Is there any opposing force for the system or not, right? And so now for this, if I want to answer about this accelerating force, the weight of this block is accelerating, right? And so now the component of this weight here, the component of weight is nothing but m2g sine theta. m2g sine theta is also accelerating only, right? So we need to consider that weight components only when you are writing this. As I said, all the tensions will become internal force, they will cancel with each other. So no need of taking the tensions, only we need to consider the weight components here. And so then here weight of this block is m1g is accelerating the system, plus this m2g also is m2g sine theta also accelerating the system. That also helps to accelerate the system. That means m2g sine theta also pulls the system along this direction here. So that is also accelerating here, m2g sine theta. Now we can observe that weight of this block m3g will be acting in downward direction here. That means it is opposing the system here. And so that you may write this as minus m3g, right, by e. That means m1g plus m2g sine theta minus m3g by m1 plus m2 plus m3 you need to answer here, right? So now that is the acceleration of the system directly. Once the acceleration is known to us, you may consider suppose this is tension T1 and here tension T2. So write the force equations for this and calculate that tensions expressions for the tension. And here also I will give the numericals here so that you can do the calculation easily. Let us take this angle as 30 degrees and this mass as let us take it as 4 kg. M1 is 4 kg, M2 is 2 kg, right? And this is, let us take this M1 and M3 as 1 kg. This block as 1 kg block. right? So now simplify that, then you will get that calculations there, right? So it is a simple way of writing some simple problems based on this pulleys here. So that means once if you know this, how to write the acceleration of the system directly, then you can answer these pulley problems easily here. So that means now solve the problems based on this. In the next class, I will explain some more problems based on the pulleys. Just these are just I am interested in this class to give a clarity about how to write the acceleration of the system directly. No need of writing free body diagram. That means drawing the free body diagram and writing the force equations for every time. So, but definitely it is it is to be known to everyone. That means everyone should able to write the free body diagram and write the force equation for each block. To reduce the time, calculation time, you can write the acceleration of the system directly. So this is the, if you are able to know that, then you can reduce the time, you can solve the question quickly there, right? So I will give some more problems, I will explain some more problems based on the pulleys in our next class, right? Thank you.